Well, Premier League TOTS leaks have begun, and not only that, we have pretty much the full team leaked already, plus some pretty big SBCs, a big end of an era SBC as well. We've got some semi-interesting pack leaks as well to go and look at, but one of the biggest things today is that the new patch did come out today, and if you guys have played gameplay on the new patch, let me know what you guys thought about it. I've not played any gameplay yet. Is the press seemingly a little bit better on the 95 depth? Does it not seem to be as overloaded as it always has? You know, we can only hope, I think, but hopefully something happened here with this patch. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. But yeah, thank you all for joining and being here today. I appreciate you all, as I always say every day, and I mean it every single day. But there was an Evo I was going to show you guys and talk about, and you guys probably, most of you probably saw it. It was pretty damn bad, right? It was a very strange one. Weird requirements. Dribbling was like max 84 or 85 or something like that. It was really strange. There was actually a mistake with it, so it's no longer even in here. EA tweeted out saying that there was a mistake with it. They disabled it until they fixed the mistake. I think it was upgrading wrong or something like that, so I can't even show it to you, but there was an evolution that came out today, and it was pretty bad. And also, we did get the Ligue 1 TOTS upgrade and the Women's French League TOTS upgrade as well, and they both are able to be used with a Team of the Week or a Team of the Season card. Well, actually, this one's only Team of the Season, so it looks like we're on that train now where most things that get released now, I'm going to assume, are Team of the Season or Team of the Week, especially because TOTS came out today, and she also has Team of the Season or Team of the Week player in there. So I think we're at that point now, which is nice to see. I want to thank EA for that, and I want to thank them because I'm about to ridicule them for a second here, and it's just, this is one of those things that is a minor gripe, right? But I think many of you have talked about this in the comments before, and that's Rush, right? Rush is a really great way to do your evolutions because there's probably one of the fastest ways to do them. So I thought, okay, let's do this Gallego card, who was my silver that got that crazy stat boost. I put him into that free dribbling in the shadows Evo. I was like, sure, let's do Rush. Let's get him upgraded. I go to the Rush event, and there's one Rush event right now, minimum 80 overall. What kind of requirement is that, first of all? Second of all, why is there no Rush event that has no requirements that's just permanently out there? That makes no sense at all. Now, minimum 80 rated, that's literally like, you might as well make it no requirements, right? My card that can't fit is the like extreme exception here, but it's more so the premise behind it. Like, really, I can't use my 78 rated card that has crazy stats. There's no Rush event that has no requirements in it, and there's been other weird ones this year too, where there's like max 88 or something like that, and you can't do certain evolutions, and then there's no other Rush event, so you can't play that card in Rush for like 5 days. Sorry, oops, try again. It just gives me like PTSD of the Moments game mode, right? We had it leaked by somebody that we're not even exactly sure if it's legit or not, but they said Moments is not going to be in the game next year, which I think no one's going to be sad about, but it's more so what a waste of a game mode that this was one of the main features of like FIFA 22, maybe? Was it 22 or 23? I don't remember. This was like one of the main features of Ultimate Team that year. That was a change, and they didn't give a shit about this. It just gives you PTSD because Rush was that this year. Rush was like one of the biggest things added to Ultimate Team, and now maybe 1 year in, they're gonna be like, ah, fuck it, who cares? It's not that popular. We're not gonna give a shit. But it's like, there might be a big majority of the reason the game mode isn't very good is because you put no effort into it, or at least put very minimal effort to where it couldn't fulfill its potential, right? But what do you guys think? And okay, let's get on to the leaks now. We have got, the first one is a big SBC, and that's Jamie Vardy, end of an era. We figured this might come out eventually. It makes sense during the Premier League Team of the Season for this to be released. And we have his official stats and playstyle pluses. He's got power shot, quick step, and low driven, 99 base pace, which because of that, this 91 dribbling here becomes, you know, much more manageable because you can just give him a chem style to up that. 95 shot, 90 physical. He does fit right here, like this guy says, into the finesse plus Evo, or I'm assuming the other ones as well, right? Or is it just finesse that's 95? I don't remember, but he does fit for sure in the finesse plus Evo, so that also is a cool addition. But yeah, my guess is with this one plus some other SBCs that have been leaked, EA are gonna go the route of big SBCs during Prem TOTS. They kind of always do this, but this is like one of the last big money-making weekends for them is during this Team of the Season in particular. And we'll go through all the SBCs first, and then we'll get on to the actual Team of the Season. So Bruno Guimaraes is a TOTS SBC. Official stats here as well: press proven, bruiser, and pinged pass, which bruiser and pinged pass are two, like, to me, borderline S-tier playstyles, even though you might not think they are. Press proven is just fine for me, but the stats are really good on him. Hopefully he's got better than a 3-star weak foot, but I was seeing some complaints about some of the SBCs being released recently and how people don't really care about them because they're just not that great. And that's just the same debate we've been having, right? Cards releasing right now that maybe aren't the craziest, and that ends up being a problem because the power curve moved so quickly this year. But that was one of the biggest complaints I saw today when TOTS dropped. Everyone was like, damn, these SBCs really have kind of sucked recently. But yeah, we explained kind of, I think, why that actually is. And okay, next up, Caicedo SBC / objective is coming. Not going to be in team of the season. He's going to be an honorable mention card as an SBC or an objective. Stats are not confirmed at all. And there were some people upset about this because I think honorable mentions just generally don't get maybe quite as good of stats as team of the season cards if they really had a good season like Caicedo had. So the replies, weren't very happy here, but Caicedo does make the team and he's going to be an SBC or an objective. We will see. And there's one more I believe we have leaked right now. That's a goalkeeper, and that's David Raya. Official stats and playstyle pluses. So he has 3 playstyle pluses there, one being a passing one, so 2 goalkeeper playstyle pluses. And also AC in the replies here does say this. I didn't see this. This is only 2 hours ago when I saw this actually come out. I did not read this reply, and AC does say here, not wow, Vardy the best, I think, in reply to this guy who asks, like, are there going to be bigger SBCs during this Prem TOTS? He says, I think Vardy's the best one. So not sure what to make of that one. With all this SBC storage right now, I wonder if EA are just procrastinating dropping a big SBC because they know the next one they drop, a lot of people will be able to complete him because people have so much fodder saved up right now, and fodder is also extremely cheap. So maybe they're just planning on waiting and not dropping big SBCs until fodder goes up. And Vardy's still pretty big, and Caicedo's like a pretty big SBC, but it's not maybe what some people could have expected. An end of an era Kevin De Bruyne, who we already had a big KDB this year, but that's beside the point, or like a flashback Messi, right? Even though that would be during La Liga, but you see what I'm trying to say. A card that big to where it's like everyone's put on notice almost. There is one more card here I forgot to mention. Turland is in the team as an SBC, finesse shot, rapid, first touch. I mean, it's a pretty good card, but honestly, I don't think anybody really cares, except maybe Man United past and present clubs out there. But yeah, this card also is on the way. But okay, we got the Prem team of the season, and we have no stats leaked officially apart from, I think, Mo Salah and the SBCs that we saw earlier. So these cards you're going to see are not official stats, but in the team confirmed here is Isaac and Cunha were some of the 2 first attackers leaked, and I think those 2 are pretty obvious, but still nice to see that they're going to be in the team, and Isaac is going to be absolutely insane. We got Cole Palmer leaked as well, so he did make the team. I said yesterday, I'm pretty sure the whole fan voting starting 11 will make the team because EA want money, and Cole Palmer was maybe the most questionable midfielder to make the starting 11, and I think Cole Palmer made the starting 11. So yeah, I think EA made the business decision on this one. And we also got Miles Lewis-Skelly coming as a Premier League team of the season. Now, everybody who made the card had him as a TOTS highlight, so I'm going to assume he's going to be a TOTS highlights card. And if the stats looks like this, which they're not going to, but that would be one of the best cards, I think, in the entire game. But Arsenal fans, hold it in, please, okay? Just keep it at Chubb. We don't need to go any further than that. And the last one we got leaked before the full team was leaked was Erling Haaland as well. And this one was also quite controversial. People in the replies were not too happy about Haaland making it, but obviously let me know what you guys think. But okay, here we go. Here's the full team. I actually think there's a couple players missing in terms of highlights and moments. I think there's some players missing in here, but the full team of the season team, I think, is this one. And none of the stats are correct here. We have stats on Mo Salah we'll look at in one sec, but there's Salah we saw yesterday, Van Dijk we've already seen, Holland, Gabriel is in there. We've got McAllister, Declan Rice, William Saliba, Bruno Fernandes does make it down there, Bukayo Saka, Gravenberch makes it. That guy's going to be insane in this game. I always love his cards. Trent is in there. Sells makes it, well deserved for him. Cole Palmer, we saw Anthony Robinson, Chris Wood. They got to make Chris Wood's card usable, bro. It can't look like this. I know that, yeah, his card will always be usable, but let's make it 95 rated, because why the hell not? Forest might make the Champions League. Just make it juiced out. And down here you can't see. Can we zoom in a little bit? There, I guess that helped a little bit. The stats don't matter anyway. We got Kirkej and Milenkovic there. But yeah, we're still missing the highlights and the moments, I believe. So there's still some cards out there that we will see that are not in this list. And then let's go look at Mo Salah's card. I think we have it right here. Yes, we do. Mo Salah's stats right here. Trivela, first touch, incisive, and finesse, which Trivela on the right wing is unfortunately basically useless, but first touch is okay, and incisive and finesse are obviously S tier play styles. The card's always going to be good. And we do actually have one more official card. I take it back. He is in the EFL, and that's right here. We have Tanaka at Leeds, who has relentless, intercept, long ball, and pinged, who looks actually insane. So I'm happy to see, though, that they're giving like EFL cards or lower league cards, still 96 rated team of the seasons, that look pretty crazy, because as we know this year, they've changed chemistry for TOTS cards. So this card will be able to seamlessly fit in your team. Yes, it won't help other cards of chemistry very much, but I think that that's still a really, really nice change. So Tanaka will be able to fit in your team if you pack him, basically no matter what, which is nice. And that card looks pretty outrageous. And there are a few more confirmed or not confirmed players, so let's just go through those really quickly here. Amad Diallo, apparently FUT Agent says, is not going to be in team of the season. Sorry, Man United fans. Joe Bellingham is going to be in the team of the season for Sunderland, which we always figured Job would make it. I don't even know if he played good this year or not. I think even if he didn't, he'd still make it in this team, just purely because his last name is Bellingham. And also he says that Marmoush is not going to be a highlights player, so I'm assuming he's probably just not going to make it in the team of the season, unfortunately. And for example, here's one of those players that was not in that graphic, but's going to come in team of the season, and that's Yuri Tielemans. So he's going to get a TOTS card. And there's 2 more Prem team of the season players as well, and that is Matoma and Paris there. So I think that's all the Prem TOTS leaks that we have right now. And I'm sure FUT Agent will tweet more out as the day goes on. So if you want to go check his Twitter, you can see that. If there's any like niche championship players or championship cards you might want to see later. And last thing, he does say Tottenham is not going to get one. So no team of the season players from Tottenham, which makes a lot of sense considering they could have been relegated if the bottom 3 wasn't big hairy balls. And oh wait, there's one more. Jacob Murphy makes it in team of the season as well. So that's nice to see. And I think that's all of them. So a little weird though that I thought they might go all out for team of the season SBCs with this week being so important for them, but I do think they must be waiting on fodder prices to rise would be my only guess. And maybe what would make fodder prices rise, I guess it would be exchanges, or it would be other big SBCs coming out, but you have to drop a big SBC to make fodder rise. So not really sure, honestly, not sure what they're looking at here. And also I'm sure you all saw the Champions League semifinal today. Wouldn't it just be awesome? And I know this is a pipe dream at this point. In fact, I know it's not going to happen, but the fact that like orange match of the match cards don't exist anymore. If you've been here for a while, you've heard me rant about this before. The fact that there's no more orange man of the match cards, even in packs, like there's not an orange either, I don't know, let's just say Dumfries or Yamal tonight, even though it was a draw, just hypothetical. Like even in packs, doesn't have to be an SBC. Just drop it so that it's a card that exists and it's tied to the real life games. And I know that now we have Road to the Final cards, so that technically is a tie to real life. But I mean, I don't know. I miss orange man of the match cards coming in packs 2 hours after the game ends. Like that just is so fun. Even when you're not going to pack him, you can't really afford them either if they're insane, obviously. But there's some you're going to afford over the course of the year, and I just don't get why they don't do this anymore. But okay, let's take a look at these pack leaks here. There are quite a few interesting ones. Some of these are just store packs, which in that case, you know, don't even bother. But for example, let's look at this one here. You know, you've got Premier League or WSL TOTS player pack. That's pretty obvious. There's a 3 TOTS player pack of the same leagues there, max 93. This is the one that we got today. But we assume there's going to be a TOTS trade-in here. That got leaked, actually, that there will be a team of the season trade-in SBC. And I was trying to look through here to see if there was one. That looks like it could be. These 4 look like they're all just store packs, so who cares? But 84/5 here, Prem or WSL upgrade, 77/2, so that continues. But 91 plus TOTS week 2 guarantee pack, more store packs there. And also, I think on this side, there's just store packs again. Yeah, TOTS mixed league player pick. It's a 1 of 3 86 plus pick, which I'm assuming is in the store. So the interesting pack leak is the trade-in, so I'm not sure when we'll see that be leaked as a store pack. Or sorry, I'm seeing so many store packs I can't help myself. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that and not keep our eyes peeled for TOTS week 2 mixed leagues player pick, TOTS week 2 foundations, TOTS week 2 tandem super ultra gambling addiction pack. But okay, rivals rewards tonight. We talked about how I think it's going to be the best time to buy TOTS cards probably is going to be tonight. If you're looking to for sure want one of these in your team for this weekend, I am actually okay with you buying these tonight. I know I said in my last video that I'm not super optimistic in these cards rising very much because of just every time a new TOTS team comes out, there's always so many new cheap cards in there. I think Premier League team of the season, it's probably gonna be the most expensive of the team of the season. So in that case, if a lot of them are more expensive than we realize, you're gonna see these cards probably rise up a little bit. I still don't love it too much because I think we're gonna see, with the way this market is, a lot of cheap Premier League cards, which in that case, if that happens, you know, the market isn't probably gonna do the best. But I do think like cards that are super high tier, Joao Neves and Mateo, Barcola, Varane here, I do think they should be okay. I don't love buying them for like investments, but if you want them for your team, I'm okay with buying them tonight. And seeing SBC leaks, they're not insane, like they're good but not crazy. That also helps this. So if you want one for your team for this weekend, I do think tonight makes sense. But okay, let's read my handsome and charismatic subscribers comment section. Quickstep FC, who leaves a comment post to the update here, says, based upon what I have seen with this patch, EA don't really understand their game. The biggest issue with the high depth is as much the high depth and auto offside than it is the pressure. Defensive line still super high, making the midfield as congested as ever. And if you guys had a similar experience with that, is the midfield still super congested? That's kind of one of the bigger things, really. It was bad last year mainly. Like that was really bad last year, but this year the midfield congestion is still there. Is it any better with this new patch? You know, I mean, is there anything better with this new patch? Anything at all? Next up, we got that's Soccer AG. I think I might have butchered that. He says, at JFC, I personally haven't heard this approach brought forward, but to me, if we are to make lemonade with the introduction of roles and play styles, why don't the promos, especially in the beginning of the year, come out with the same ratings for longer. However, just add playstyles and roles. That way, gold players will be more viable for much longer, and the power curve has much more headroom to bump up ratings later into the year. Then they can spread out promo cards to many more players, and promos can still provide value without maxing out the power curve so soon. Interested to hear if you could think of downfalls with this approach. And honestly, no, it makes a lot of sense to me, because when you think about their upgrade paths right now, you increase the ratings and the playstyles, so no wonder it's going to go quickly. It would make a lot of sense to basically just add a playstyle plus for like the first month of the game, or maybe 2 months of the game. The stats don't change really, but what does change are the base playstyles maybe and the playstyle pluses. And then maybe when we get to the team of the year time, post that, you start to see a lot of stat upgrades, right? We already have playstyle upgrades, but now we're getting into stat upgrades a little bit more often, or vice versa, right? I think the problem is they like playstyles and they want them to be such a big part of the game that I think playstyles would come first and then stats second. But I think it's a better way to do it, because right now, yeah, it is doubly as fast and gold cards are doubly as irrelevant, because every promo that comes out, there's increased stats and playstyles. It's not just one of the two. So yeah, I think you're probably right. I'm sure there are maybe some downsides to that. The downside might just be cards don't look as good, and they're not going to be as good and perform as well as soon, like in game, that is, and how good they are in game. That might be the only downside to it, but I think we're kind of okay with cards not being so good right away. I think most of us are fine with that. So yeah, I think you do bring up a good point though about adding both of those. We've got Sapo Vic. I think Sapo Vic says the team press update is cool, but how hard is it to reduce tackle spam? There's no cooldown and opponents spam tackle with no penalty. Opponent yesterday had more tackles than pass attempts. I won more tackles with 30 attempts all game. Dude had 115 tackle attempts, and he says in 2K, you know, if you press steal, you'll be frozen for a second. The offensive player is rewarded. Yeah, I think EA is so worried about defending being hard. I think they know that FIFA can be a very high skill gapped game. I think they're aware of that, and I think that they want to try and make things a balance of fun and also a balance of new players who just got in the game for the first time. They aren't completely hopeless defending, and I see why they do that, and that's why auto dropback's been in the game for 5 years now, whatever it's been, since we've gone to next gen consoles. I think it's kind of started around that point. It's just because EA I think are very afraid of casuals playing the game for the first time and getting their shit kicked in, which is fair, but then that's of course going to be at the expense of the rest of us who, you know, that just makes the game not as fun. And the game's super defensive heavy, and now there's spam tackles, which yeah, you can play a game right now and have 100+ tackle attempts, and it's not that big of a deal because you just switch player and tackle again. You switch player and tackle, and you switch player and tackle. There is no cooldown, and maybe there shouldn't be a cooldown, but there should be some sort of mechanic to where you can't just spam tackle. That's one of the things too, going back to the update, where it's interesting that that was the one update they changed, or one thing they changed in the update was just 95 depth, nothing else. They didn't touch any of the spam tackles, the speed boosts, the tackle backs, none of that stuff. It was literally just the 95 depth. So I'm guessing they just don't have many people on this game still, like I said yesterday, but I don't know. It's definitely fascinating as to why they didn't bother with much else. But okay, hey, that's it for me, and thank you all for joining and being here today. You guys are the best. I love y'all. Peace.